You are listening to the podcast, The Whole and Complete Woman, where we provide practical tips and strategies for achieving your health, wealth, and relationship goals and desires. Yes, I said desires because God does not put desires in your heart just to tease you. So it's important for me that you're empowered with the tools and resources to not only fulfill on your goals, but to create a life you love and create a legacy. Because the people that come after us, they're really depending on us to pave the way for them. So, how we're living our lives today, that will not only help our future selves, but it will also help those that come behind us. And that looks different for everyone, which I love. So, what are we going to talk about today? So, today we are going to talk about the meaning behind the name of the podcast, the purpose of the podcast, who it's for, and of course, I'll introduce who I am. There I was in church Sunday morning, and I was crying, tears just going down my face. And I felt God say to me, untorn. And I kind of thought about a paper being torn, like ripped to pieces. And that's the way that I really felt about my life at that point in time. I was going through a divorce, leaving a very volatile marriage, and I was a single mom now. I had two little ones. I didn't even have a car at the time. Had just recently filed bankruptcy. And all of this was happening on top of having a life where there has been lots of trauma, sexual abuse, molestation, discord in the family, just all types of things. And I really just felt like life was always just tearing me down, and I just could not and can't have it all, like I just can't ever seem to get my life together. And as I began healing during this time and growing in God and doing inner work and all of those things, God put a new word in my heart, and that was whole and complete. And at the time, I thought, well, maybe I'm going to start a nonprofit that's helping young girls and women. And that did not happen. But more recently, when I thought about starting this podcast, that came back to me, The Whole and Complete Woman. And it's really the journey that God's taken me on over almost the last decade, is really becoming whole and complete. And I want to talk to you a little bit about what that means. In Greek, the word to be saved means lots of different things, okay? And they all come together. The Greek word sozo means to be saved, made whole, restored, healed, delivered, preserved. And the word salvation has even a bigger, more expanded meaning. And it's a broader term in Greek. The inherent concepts of soteria, which is the word for salvation, include restoration to a state of safety, soundness, health, and well-being, as well as preservation from danger and destruction. So what God was teaching me was that salvation is about being saved, all the things that we always think of. But really, when it talks about in Philippians to work out our salvation, we will continually do that. It's because it's a process, and it's really a process of being made whole. That's what came to me with this, the whole and complete woman, lacking nothing. And what I desire for myself and for you is for you to really live a life that is aligned with your purpose and your gifts and your goals and all the things that God has for you, And a lot of times in this life, we're told that we have to choose. Either we're going to have the career, or we're going to have the family, or we're going to have the love, or we're going to have the career. Or there's just different things. We're having to set things aside. It's either or. And really, you can have both and all. And you can really, really have it all, and you don't have to choose. Being whole and complete is what this podcast is about. It is for women, and I will be bringing on lots of experts that are experts in all different types of areas to really talk about health, talk about wealth, to talk about relationships and love. When I talk about creating legacy, a lot of times, we come from families where wealth is not something that has been passed on to us. Health what the habits are and the things that we need to do are not things that have been passed on to us, or even relationships, how to have healthy relationships, whether that's in marriage or whether that is just in relationships with other people and how to handle conflict. And my goal and my desire is for us to be whole and complete, for us to have the tools and the resources to be whole and complete women, to be made whole. I'll talk a little bit more about the purpose and who this is for, okay? This podcast is for women of faith interested in natural and holistic approaches to wellness, family, love, and career. I am Dr. Alicia Newsome, and what I do professionally is I help women find out exactly what's going on inside of their body. And these are women that are struggling with hormonal imbalances, that may be low energy, it may be painful, heavy periods, or maybe periods that don't come at all. It may be hormonal acne, it could be trouble losing weight, specifically in that belly area, belly fat, things like that. And I help women find out exactly what's going on inside of their bodies and then resolve those issues without drugs or surgery. I will be bringing in holistic approaches to wellness, as well as family, love, and career. This is also for Black and Brown women who are seeking culturally competent healthcare solutions for hormonal imbalances, weight loss resistance, low energy, irregular periods, perimenopause, all of those types of things. Because for me, as a functional medicine doctor, when I stepped onto the scene, I realized that there were not a lot of other doctors serving us, Black and Brown women. So my background is I'm half Black and I'm also Mexican as well. So I come from this diverse background. And when I began serving women, people would book consultations with me and I would ask them, well, what prompted you to schedule this consultation? And they're like, I want to work with a Black doctor. And it made me more evident that there is a need, because a lot of times our issues are not addressed, especially in traditional medicine as well as alternative medicine. The different things that we deal with, whether it may be fibroids or endometriosis, PCOS, weight issues, a lot of those types of things, or the different things that are going on with our bodies with vitamins and nutrients and vitamin D levels or iron and things like that, they may be seen in other cultures, but it's important that there is resources available to us and to you that are culturally competent to the things that are going on in our lives, the things that are going on culturally, the way that we handle stress and all types of things. So I don't want to go too much into that on this. This is just the intro podcast. That is one area that we are really going to focus on. And that is helping women look for ways to reduce and manage stress, because it is so important and it is so prevalent. This is also for women who are looking to build wealth and create legacy. When you think about the talent, or the parable of the people that were given the talents, right? And we don't want to be the person that goes and we take that talent and then we go hide it, under a rock because we're afraid of losing it, or, something may go on. We really want to be the one that, when that day comes, and even now in our life, that we are in alignment and that the talents and gifts that God has given us, that they are bringing forth fruit in our lives and also in the lives of those around us. And we really want to create that legacy. The women that are listening to this podcast and who this is for, it's for women who want to pass on that wealth, that physical health, that mental health, the relational health, all of those types of things. It's also for leaders who want to increase their energy, productivity, and performance, as well as high achieving women. So that could include entrepreneurs, executives, other healthcare providers, even moms. Okay. Sometimes moms get left out of things, but that is a full-time job. I remember there was a time in my life when you could easily find me after church at a friend's house, asleep on the couch, because I was exhausted all the time. And I had my two little ones, they would be running around playing. I had people that were nice and would help take care of them. But as soon as I'd sit down, whether it was in the afternoon or evening, I would pass out. I had a lot of health issues that were really holding me back in life from being a good mom, from being a good friend, from being a good business owner, for me really being able to take my business to the next level, for me to achieve higher things in life because I didn't have the energy to do them. We'll dive into all of those things in this podcast, tools and resources. But it was back at that time, my life was very different than it is now. But God has taken me on a journey of becoming whole and complete. And it is a journey to this day that continues on. And what I want for the women that are listening is for us to become human beings, okay? Not so much human doings. There is a way to fulfill on the purpose and the dreams and the calling that God has on your life without just being a human doing, do all the time, got all kinds of things going on and stressed out, and at the same time destroying our health, sometimes our relationships and our families. So, we'll be talking about becoming human beings. What you can expect is insights and guidance from me as a functional medicine and lifestyle physician. I consider myself a teacher, okay? Doctor means teacher. So I am here to teach and to empower you, okay? And I'm pretty much an open book when it comes to my life and the things that have happened because I believe that these things have happened so that I can help other people and that maybe you don't have to make all the mistakes that I've made or go down the roads, the zigzag path that I've gone down, and really provide you with direction on maybe how to get somewhere in your life a little bit quicker. Okay. All the experts that we'll bring on, those people will be doing the same thing, providing practical tips and strategies for really achieving your health, wealth, and relationship goals. Okay. And really being able to help you line your life up with those things as well. Okay. There's going to be inspiring stories of women who have made this transformation as well. And then always actionable steps that are really designed to help get your life in alignment with your purpose and vision. And one of my biggest goals is to really create a supportive community of women who are on the same journey as you. There have been so many times in my life where I have felt so alone and that I'm not good enough and I can't do this. And I feel like even since the pandemic, it's gotten worse for a lot of women of just not having a community, a supportive community, a safe space where we can just be us. And we know that we are fully supported by all of life and by each other. This is what the podcast will be about. Okay. So I gave you a little bit about what the meaning is behind the whole and complete woman and that Greek word. Then we went over the purpose and also who this is for and what you can expect. Okay. So I would love for you, if you are watching us on YouTube, that you go ahead and subscribe. If you're listening on a Apple Podcasts or another streaming service, go ahead and follow us. I promise you, you won't regret it. We are going to provide you with things that are really going to help you out. It helps to get the word out when you share the podcast, when you have others subscribe as well. It really does help build up the podcast so that people are able to get this information, okay? And again, one of my goals is really to create community and connection. Okay. So always leave comments if you have anything. Tell me what you think about the name. Tell me about your journey, your story, any of those types of things. You can type those in the comments. I will always comment back and reply to you. Thank you so much for listening. Please share the podcast and like and do all the things. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.